Good morning from Carson City. Today's day 4 and it's snowing. We actually have some updates for you guys on the whole budget balancing act. We got some information last night that the state budget is balanced and they didn't have to cut any services or programs. Okay, I'm back in the building. So on the education front, Governor Joe Lombardo has proposed to continue funding that was approved last legislative session for teacher salaries with $288 million allocated for the next 2 years. There's also funding for early childhood education, $140 million for 2026 through 2027, for pre-K literacy programs and to hire more pre-K teachers to have more slots open for Nevada's youngest students. There's also another $17 million to fund transportation services for the State Public Charter School Authority, so students attending charter schools can take the bus. And this comes in the heels of a couple weeks ago, the budget had a structural deficit. So to fix it, the governor's finance team looked over the budget line by line and adjusted how these programs are funded. We're gonna get a little into the weeds, but stay with me. When it comes to the state funding in Nevada, there's two buckets. There's general spending and the one-shot funding. The general spending bucket covers things that are ongoing expenses, while the one-shot bucket is used to fund programs for 2 years at a time. So to get a pilot program off the ground, for example, lawmakers would use one-shot funding, and then organizations or departments involved in the program would have to come back every legislative session to request the funding again. The governor's finance team said that in order for the budget to be balanced, the education budget items that I mentioned must be funded with money found in the one-shot account. This is a problem for some lawmakers because they feel like these priorities should be considered long-term. And there are plans to try to make the pre-K programs a recurring expense in the future, but for now, to balance the budget, that spending is only going to be approved for the next 2 years. The legislature has to approve the budget and the bills that are requesting funding for these programs. So follow the Nevadan to stay up to date on the state legislative session.